Yes, good evening everyone. Welcome once again to the MCG as this 4-day football bonanza continues, Gerard Healy, and a big one for the Tigers especially.
Yes, it certainly will be if they can get a win. And welcome to you, Sandy. And your eyes look remarkably clear after the Logies last night. But
Thank you.
This may well be a tighter game than we expect. Justin Charles is an important inclusion for the Tigers. Dean Kemp, a drastic omission for them given his performance over the last few years. And Drew Banfield, a late omission, will also hurt the Eagles. But it would be one of the upsets of the season, you would think, if the Eagles went down tonight.
All right, speaking of down, let's go down to the ground now. Dipper is there with Tony Free. Dipper.
Yes, thanks very much, Sandy. Well, Tony, we're just saying there, the last 15 minutes in there, very tense.
Yeah, they were very tense. The boys are very focused. I mean, we win this game and we're 4-4. Yeah. We're right in the competition. We lose it, we're 5-3 and down the bottom end of it. So a huge game. A couple of big guys. Benny Gale's 150th, Tassie's 100th. So, you know, the boys are pumped up. I think it'll be a big start, I hope.
And Jerry here just mentioned Justin Charles, an important player for the Tigers.
He is. He's back. You'll probably see him in the ruck and up forward a bit. Big, strong guy. I hope he uses a bit of that strength tonight, but he is a very important player for us.
Thanks, Tony. Good luck.
The 1997 AFL Premiership season. Proudly brought to you by Victoria Bitter for a hard-earned thirst. Telstra, making life easier. Qantas, the Australian airline. And McDonald's.
Nobody does it better than Hungry Jack's and Bluey McKenna. Well, we'll have to see, but this is a big moment for Guy McKenna, the leading games record holder at the moment for the club and notching up his 200th, a wonderful achievement, Gerard.
Yes, and he has also been linked to the great Brucey Doyle, and he has had that sort of impact with the dual premiership side, the West Coast Eagles. Here's the Tigers. Well, as we said, Justin Charles coming into the side. He is a very important inclusion because they have been struggling with a lack of height. New inclusion, a new player for the Tigers tonight, making his debut. Ewan Thompson from the Northern Knights will look for him, and I think Chris Bond will probably get the job on Ben Cousins, who has been a star for the Eagles.
Just while we're having a look at the West Coast Eagles and Guy McKenna, let's go down to their chairman of selectors, Ian Miller. Here he is speaking with Dennis Cometti. Den?
Yeah, thank you, Sandy. Ian has selected tonight.
No, unfortunately, Drew Banfield's out and Josh Wooden will come in, Dennis.
What's the story with Dean Kemp? He's watching back in Perth tonight.
Yeah, well, he's had a bit of a knee problem and he just didn't come up this week, which is very unfortunate because we certainly miss him in the midfield.
Guy McKenna making history tonight. Any special preparations, anything done out of the usual?
Well, you try not to go overboard, but I mean, he's a special guy. I mean, and he's making history, you know, part of tradition, and he's just been fantastic both on and off the field. And hopefully the boys will make it a special night for him because, as I said, he's a special guy both on and off the field. And 200 games, the first one of the West Coast Eagles, fantastic.
Ian Miller, thank you. Sandy?
Thank you, Dennis. Let's have a look at this West Coast squad. As Ian said, a couple of forced changes, Gerard.
Yes, they have made a number of changes, but you look at their back line, it is so strong and it's very settled with Worsfold, McKenna and McIntosh. Difficult to see the Tigers kicking a winning score. And you look at their forward line, the Eagles, they've got Donnelly, Cousins, Ball and even Jakovic. They look pretty strong.
So we'll take a break from the MCG. It's all coming away shortly.
It's all West Coast when they toss because they pulled it that way to kick.
Welcome back to the MCG on this Monday night football here in Melbourne. It's a cool night, hopefully in for a hot game. Let's go down to the boundary line again with Dipper.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sandy. Well, with me, Matthew Rogers. Welcome, Matty.
Thanks, Dipper. Thanks a lot.
An important night for the Tigers tonight.
Very much so. Yes, we want this one for sure.
Now, unfortunately for you, you're not playing because of an injury.
Yeah, it looks like I'll probably have to miss one more, but can't wait to get back, that's for sure.
Now, you got red eyes. I know why. It's your dad's 50th year, so just say hello to Dad.
Yeah, happy birthday, Dad, for yesterday. Turned 50, so yeah, it's good.
Good on you, mate, and we'll see you throughout the night, okay?
Thanks, Dipper.
So here we go. The opening bounce with the Eagles, hopefully to be set alight by Ilya Grigic in the middle, going to the left of screen. They push it down towards left half forward. As he said, a big night for Guy McKenna, his 200th, and a big night for a couple of Tigers too, as Peter Matera's hand pass goes astray. Campbell comes through, a prolific ball getter, gets the hand pass away. Tigers looking for a big start. Kick came from Daffy up towards right half forward. Here goes Matera, Peter Matera, tucks it under his arm and away he goes. Floating kick up towards half forward. A couple fly and Ilya Grigic takes it from behind. He plays on. Big Ilya, 60 metres out. A high kick in towards full forward. At the back, Gehrig had the opportunity and rugby style almost taken over the line. It's going to be a free kick to the Tigers on the very last line of defence. Scotty Turner.
A bit of an opportunity gone begging there for the West Coast Eagles. Not to be, and good tackling there and good pressure by the Tiger defence.
He just pushes it up towards the half-back flank and it goes over, and back from his boundary riding duties, Dennis Committee. Welcome, Den.
Thank you, Sandy. All the better for it, of course. Smell of the turf, the liniment. They can keep it.
You've got a future down there, Dennis.
Throw in right on the 50. Grigic knocked it down. Broderick hurriedly onto the boot. Gale's got it now. At half-back, smothered by Matera. Spills back into the congestion. Tate, the hand pass out wide. This is Prescott. High one, floating it towards half-forward. Miranda, almost the grab. Found it on the ground. Brilliantly done. Runs to the 50. Settles. Heads for home. The kick is wayward. Floating towards the pocket. Charles goes back. Big Justin. About 10 metres out, runs around, snaps. I think he's got it. He has. He makes a difference.
The most important for the Tigers to get off to this sort of start, because I think over the last few years they've been known as an emotional side, and when they do play with great emotion, they can play above what we'd expect on paper. To take full advantage of that, you've got to get away to a good start. And Justin Charles, well, nobody typifies the spirit of the Tigers more than Justin Charles. I think I may well have said that Ewan Thompson was making his debut tonight. Unfortunately, that information was incorrect, so apologies to Mr. and Mrs. and also to Ewan, but we'll see you out in the ground shortly.
Brendan Gale puts the Tigers into attack once again, down to half forward only as far as Brett Heady.
Never trust what you're told in the press box, Andy.
Heady back towards centre wing. In their 16 meetings, the Tigers have managed only 4 wins to date. West Coast Eagles really have dominated as Worsfold floats in front of the pack. Couldn't quite complete the mark, needs assistance and gets it from Chris Lewis, who's been playing excellent football. Off to Heady, wobbles one, not very far. Michael Gale beaten initially by Matera, who pushes towards the line and over. Check on the benches now. Firstly for the Tigers, Dipper.
Sandy, number 16, Ben Holland. Number 22, Nathan Bauer. And the speedster, 26, Trent Nichols for Richmond.
Yes, Trent playing his 100th game tonight, so we wish him well. Past Michael Gale. Prescott is there. Hand pass intercepted. Chance for Matera once again. Picking up a few possessions. Needed help on that occasion. Hasn't got it. Broderick gives away a little bit of ground, but it's okay to find Tate. Centering kick in towards half forward. Grigic backs into the pack and takes a strong mark. Big Ilya plays on to Johnny Worsfold.
Here's Lewis across the ground. McKenna fumbled it. Daffy and McKenna wrestling on the outer side. Now Simmons into space. As it bounce, settles down towards half forward. Ball on the lead, a searching lead up the ground. Ball kick from right on the 50. Jason Ball. All eyes Eagles down by 6 points. If he were a fullback, he'd be in trouble by now. Goes for distance, very high, nobody back. It's a goal. Great decision.
Well, he might even get a job at full-back the way he kicked that ball, Dennis, because it was an absolute monster. The lone Eagles supporter here at the MCG, well, certainly in the members' stand anyway. Plenty of support surrounding their cheer squad, but a good transition for the West Coast Eagles, and important for them to also get some goals early, as it is for every side, to get the confidence running.
One apiece here at the MCG. Jason Ball, who was the leading goal kicker at the club a couple of years ago, gets the West Coast Eagles first, so they are on the board. From the middle, here goes Matera, steaming through the centre. Peter Matera, searching hand pass. An opportunity for Lovell. He's pushed as he takes the kick. And it's, with that pressure, forced out of bounds on the full. To the West Coast interchange, Dipper.
Number 13, Josh Wooden, the young boy, and also 36, David Hart, and number 44, David Wirupanda.
Thanks, Dipper. Gregic spoils at the back. Chad Morrison waiting down in front, couldn't take it. Clever kick by Matera, though, is going to give Cousins an opportunity to put the Eagles in front.
And a pretty fine centre from Peter Matera, who's already got a couple of possessions, so effective with his disposals. And Chris Bond will have the onerous task of trying to quell the impact of this Norwich Rising Star.
He kicks from 40 metres, started it way right, and in fact stayed right. And Bond having a little bit to say, so too Cousins. Bondy might be giving him some goal-kicking advice, Jared.
Well, after that he could perhaps do with some, but we know he is a fantastic goal kicker, a natural rover, and somebody who's going to be a part of the Eagles for a decade.
Beautiful kick in. Prescott didn't have to break stride on the outer side. Left half back plays on now. Kick along towards half forward. A lot of jostling down there. The strength of Jakovic prevailing. Bowden brilliantly done to Michael Gale, forward of the wing inside the 50. Loose ball behind. Was it a push in the back? Nothing doing. Still a scramble. Jakovic again throws it on the boot. Bowden in trouble. Chaffee taken front on Michael Gale. Guess who? Worsfold. Matera digs it out. Jakovic on his knees. Turnbull. Miranda from 48 off his step towards the pocket. McKenna heads for the boundary line. Didn't get it across. Bowden. Oh, a bad effort, but I think it may have been out of bounds. That's the call.
Well, just running down the centre to centre line, McIntosh is picking up Burke. Bullis is going with Jakovic. Broderick in the middle with Schofield. Callaway has got Garrick, and he is an important player, and Turner on ball.
Turnbull and Charles pushed down in front. The big Tiger gets it out. Snap going across the face of goal. We know mark an opportunity for Burke, but pushed over the line and one behind. Scores level. Cool night in Melbourne, no rain. Heady. Now McKenna. The first 200 gamer for the club. Magnificent effort, been a wonderful player. Jakovic almost down to centre wing. The drop punt up towards left half forward. It was Gasper who defended, pushing it down in front. Michael Gale over the line. Michael Gale also approaching the 200 club, sitting on 170 games. Schofield, Lovell, 65 metres out, in towards half forward. Richmond should be able to tidy up at the back. Callaway was first to it. Needed support and got it. Now Miranda's way down in the back pocket. He won't get there in time. Simmons sees it over the line.
7 points apiece, boundary throw in either side. Gearick so good last week, and Gale. Gearick taps it down. Campbell taken immediately by Schofield. The bounce. Campbell averaging 29 possessions a game. Outside the 50 then. Gale and Gearick. Body work. Lovell. Campbell missed it. Gearick, aided by that left foot, comes away, runs to 50. Long kick, contest in the square, off hands, waiting behind Matera. That's Phillip, trying to get it back to Brigich. Over the ball was Turner, picked up by Matera, tried to bounce it out to Cousins. In the road though was Bond. Bond towards halfback, Michael Gale, fickle bounce. Peter Matera leads back in the race now, still Matera. Went past Bowden, conceding some ground to Heady, back it comes again. Great pressure by the Tigers. Worsfold missed it, Bowden comes through, picks it up, kicks inside the 50. Down towards Turnbull, fisting away from Charles. Loose ball in front, McKenna with poise. Across the ground, Worsfold in space. Still Worsfold favoured by the ball. Sliding in there though was Bowden, falling to the ground to Prescott. 55 metres out, smothered by Lewis. In goes Heady, on his knees, away to Worsfold. Worsfold to Lewis. And Lewis now, with some time, finds Simmons.
Great pressure from both sides as Simmons goes to Gehrig on the outer side. Now it's the Eagles' chance to run, although Gehrig gets caught. A ball goes up from the Richmond fans. It'll be a play on call as Campbell was trying to find Miranda. Eventually he does. Just slaps it wide towards Broderick. Goes back towards the wing area once again. Off hands to Prescott. Prescott looks down towards left half forward, and Benny Gale sneaks away, 70 metres out, spears it in towards half forward. What a fantastic diving mark by Burke.
Well, we're not going to see better than that tonight. Perhaps we won't see it throughout the English summer. That is a fantastic slip catch, particularly with a breezy ball. Such a talented player is David Burke. And the Tigers a far better combination when he is playing. He can go forward or back. Probably hasn't settled on his best position at the present time, but he is an exciting talent.
40 metres out. The angle certainly shouldn't be a problem. Sea of black and red goes up. He goes. Black and gold.
Leftovers from yesterday.
So Burke gets his first, and it was only after this sensational mark, Jared.
What a grab. And that's perhaps one of the few times that you can get away from McIntosh on a major dive wide. And McIntosh is behind you. Very rarely does he let you take a mark.
Tigers by 6 points. Gale slaps it wide. Lewis runs onto the ball. Goes out towards the wing. Hooks it down inside the 50. Falls short of ball. Awkward bounce. Tigers in all directions. They mucked it up though. It comes across the ball. Smothered off the boot. It ricochets towards Funky. Pushed out of it by Morrison. On his knees. Back towards ball. He's about 35 metres out from goal. Bought some time and space for Phillip Matera, who backs outside the 50. Goes in short. Missed the target. Opportunity for Broderick, so good with his hands normally. What will he do? He'll kick it this time. Props it up towards the centre. It runs rather slowly in the direction of a man coming hard. That was Heady. Heady made it his. Back towards centre half forward. Clever finish. Phillip Matera had it. A few Tigers hesitant there in the centre.
Brilliant play from Brett Heady, wasn't it? Yep. Charging on a straight line.
Matera, penetrating kick. Great grab. Ball 5 metres out directly in front. That was strong in the pack. To kick out his second right here. Coming into this match, 6 goals in 7 games. This time last year, he put it 13. No doubting that one. This to tie it up. Jason Ball. Ooh. Leave it to the umpire.
I think everybody at home could see that one. Certainly just miscued it off the boot as Nathan Bauer comes onto the ground. Mark Miranda just quickly off the ground having a chat to the coach. And the players are performing the huddle here. The West Coast Eagles are going man-on-man at the kickouts. Generally, that results.
Turner's kick good to Kellaway. Up towards left half forward, Bowden. Underneath a drop punt, just virtually chipping it towards full forward and Justin Charles. So that miss by ball could prove costly now. Let's go down to the ground. What are the conditions like, Dipper?
Sandy, it's very good here tonight. Normally in the night conditions we have a lot of dew on the grass, but tonight we just saw there 3 kicks and 3 marks. The ball is very, very dry, and the players are allowed to sort of use their speed tonight.
Charles from 40 metres. One behind the result.
You could have asked me that. I was down there. The words of Ace Ventura, I was there.
Interesting, the Eagles are going man-on-man at the kickouts. You would think most clubs now would think that that is maybe an easy way for the opposition to get a man free. We'll keep a close eye on that tonight.
Worsfold to Heady. Comes wide now. Jakovic has got to beat 3 if this stays in. Burke just slaps it over the back to Michael Gale. Chips it in towards half forward. Prescott is 65 metres out. Goes in towards the pocket region. But McIntosh is there to mark for the Eagles.
To Lewis in the square. Across to the pocket and Heady. Chips it out. Worsfold, the old firm. Overlapping, another one of them. Peter Matera, second bounce, up towards the wing. Goes towards half forward. Getting in front, Kellaway did well. Affected the pass. Funky to Kellaway. Brilliance there. Back comes Funky. Strong tackle got him down. Donnelly was the man who applied the tackle. Prescott throws it on the boot meantime. Inside the 50. Jakovic defiantly. Waiting in front, McIntosh. Heady, Worsfold. Good shepherd too from Turnbull. Worsfold towards the outer side. Matera wanting a bounce. Controlling the situation. Stops. Throws it in reverse. Walks the tightrope out there. Chips it along the boundary line. No margin for error. Gaspar taken front on. He'll get the free.
Well, interesting that Michael Gale some 100 yards away from Peter Matera. We'll have another look at this. Appeared to me to duck his head, but maybe a ball up would have sufficed.
8 possessions to Peter Matera so far. Been a good start by him as Heady's kick goes back towards that wing region, and Donnelly once again. He couldn't take it. Burke floats through. Goes back in towards Gale in the middle. Now he was off. McIntosh loses to Broderick. Broderick looks down towards Charles territory at full forward. Big Justin couldn't take the mark. Worsfold goes storming through, but without the ball. Daffy hits towards the boundary line. And over he goes with Paul Simmons.
This Michael Gale, it would appear, has a defensive role on Peter Matera. But I'm sure Robert Walls has asked him that when we've got the football, charge away and try and get as many touches as you can.
So Turnbull and Charles go at it once again. The Eagles' defence standing strong. It's Heady who kicks towards centre wing. Gale does well, not only to spoil but then to recover and boom a long kick back in towards full forward once again. Worsfold now being asked the question for the Eagles. Going to be beaten on this occasion, and the snap though is wide and out of bounds by Chaffee.
Matthew, well, you'd have to be fairly impressed with the start. The Tigers certainly running in straight lines, and they're creating a few Eagles errors just with pressure.
Yeah, the pressure's really good. I reckon, especially from our forward line at the moment. It's excellent, and Scotty Turner's kickouts have been first rate.
McIntosh the mark.
And what about Justin Charles? He looks as if he's could create some problems with his mobility for Ryan Turnbull.
Oh yeah, he's very keen, and as you see, he's taken a few good grabs already.
14 to 8. Boundary throwing out his side. Nichols coming onto the ground. Joel Bowden, who's been busy, is off. Prescott hurriedly away. Campbell down towards half forward, ill-directed. McKenna gets in the road. Jakovic runs away from half back towards half forward. Gehrig fisted away well by Kellaway. Here's Nichols. Quite a few games for the West Coast Eagles. Kellaway, remarkable defender, Over the top to the voice supplied by Michael Gale, who strides away, kicks towards half forward. Charles missed it. In characteristic fashion, McKenna mops up. Clever hand pass. Well, not exactly. Daffy's got it. Across it comes to Nichols. Gets one away. Bullis, 52 metres out. Nobody at home. How will it bounce? McIntosh tracks it back like a centre bounce it was. He took it, got it down to the Rover. Lewis comes away. Kicks it out towards right half back. Into space. Awkward bounce for all out there. Campbell runs back onto the ball, has it on the wing. Back inside the 50 come the Tigers again. Lovell was there. Good contest by Burke. McIntosh to Heady. They're combining pretty well in defence, the West Coast Eagles. Breaking down in midfield. Gehrig is strong with the hands that time. He's taken this mark well up the ground. There's a lead on towards the half-forward flank. Schofield's got it.
Still a long way out, but he should put them inside 50. Kick drops a little short. Philip Matera was there, unable to take it away. Locked up by the Tigers, virtually sitting on it. Ross Funky. And losing it.
Bunda coming onto the ground for Fraser Gehrig. So perhaps Mick Mulder's just chasing another crummer.
Here's Matera. No one in the square, just blasts away, but started it right. Philip Matera had booted 14 goals coming into this game for the season. West Coast now 1-3. With just over 4 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Turner again goes towards Gale on the outer side. And Brendan Gale takes the man. He'll be wanting a big night tonight for his 150th. Michael Gale's kick drops a little short. Ilya Grigic just frees himself of Wayne Campbell, and then the umpire says settle down a bit.
Once again, the Tigers coach Robert Walls has asked Paul Broderick to go man on man. He's currently in the back pocket. This is what happened here. Wayne Campbell getting one high, but the umpire not awarding it. So Paul Broderick is running with Jared Schofield all over the ground.
Morrison goes back to the big man, who drifted down, now looks towards ball at full forward. One grab but couldn't take the mark. Philip Matera applies the tackle. It spills free to Turner, who's quite content to concede a behind. 2-2 plays at 1-4.
Chad Morrison's got the job on the Richmond acting skipper in Wayne Campbell. And Campbell currently has 2 and 2, 4 possessions. He's come full circle, hasn't he, Chad Morrison? Started as a forward pocket, Dennis Goldstink, now a midfield tagger.
Yep. Scotty Turner assess the options, kicking in on the outer side. Broderick, nicely done, away to Tape. It'll chip out wide. Gale's got it, thought about going on, didn't, feeds it back inside. Bauer with problems now, 2 on 1. Simmons knocked it down. Michael Gale picks it up to Prescott, throws it on the boot. Down towards half forward. Worsfold had it knocked away by Nichols. Chaffee, Bullis on the wing, infield well played, into space Tate, runs through centre wing, kicks inside the 50, coming back is Burke, behind Daffy, can he control it Daffy, hooks from 15 metres out, gets their third.
Well, this time it was just Mick Daffy just doing what he does best, and that's getting rid of his opponent and force Guy McKenna under the ball. Committed Guy McKenna to going to spoil, and fortunately for him, the ball came to his advantage at the back of the pack. Had a slight little fumble, but not enough pressure, and he still got the goal away. Good start for the Tigers.
The margin now out to 10 points, and a crucial stage of this game. Just 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Tigers making another change. Miranda coming back out onto the ground from the middle. Lewis pushes wide. Heady will take the hand pass, but Miranda's right onto him. Coming off the bench now, Wirapunda. Centre wing Broderick. Gale is there also. Lovell back towards Lewis, but a poor bounce. Tried to sock it clear, but was unable to do so. So Broderick takes it away
from Prescott and kicks in towards full forward. The Eagles playing in front are able to spoil. That was McKenna initially. Look at them pounce on that.
An impressive start here by the Tigers. They really are working together well, applying some pressure. John Worsfold's been a good player for the Eagles, though, the skipper. He's already had 7 possessions. It's been a long time between drinks for the Eagles.
Into full forward. This is through. It's another one. So Tigers running hot in the last couple of minutes as Paul Bullis gets his first and Richmond's fourth. 4-2 plays 1-4.
And an impressive start. Once again, Charles. Smart kick, wasn't it? And there was some suggestion of a free kick there by Glenn Jakovich. Looked a little bit each way. Wayne Campbell, wasn't Wayne, in fact, Wayne Campbell.
I think it's Campbell's goal, isn't it?
It might well have been. Looked like Wayne Campbell got his boot to the ball. We'll play it to Wayne anyway until further notice. What do you think, Bullis?
Meantime, here's Bond out of the middle. Flattened as he kicked. No call up the ground. Nichols on his left foot pulls it back. Wide of the target. Kenna's got the free.
Paul Broderick coming off the ground for Joel Bowden. He may need the 4th umpire, or in fact the 3rd umpire, to see if it was Bullis or Campbell. Bullis is the early favourite.
The decision. Turnbull up towards the wing. Prescott bounced off his chest. Lewis, nicely done. Towards half forward goes the kick. Weapunda nicely comes away 55 metres out. Long kick off target, bounces against the behind post.
$16 points the margin. Chance for the Eagles. While it's in their attacking zone to score. The ball has it slapped away from him. Defensively to the line. Well done. Another throw in. When is the goal and who kicks it? Now,
what's the betting?
Did he get his boot to it? I think Paul Bullis.
I'll go Wayne Campbell.
Gee. I just thought Bullis' reaction may have told us something. What about Matera's here? Good spoil by Turner. Look at the tackling by Richmond. Very, very effective in this first quarter. They just push it wide in numbers. Cousins does well. Off to Lewis. Still a long way out. Will chip short in towards Lovell. Belted away from him. Lewis taken out of it. Picked up by Prescott. Back towards centre wing. McIntosh is there. Bit of holding on going on. McIntosh recovers well. Wider towards Jakovich. Almost runs out of room. In fact, does.
Well, it's been a fanatical start by the Tigers. They are really hot to trot at the present time. They're hunting in numbers, and it's a matter of where the Eagles respond. They certainly got the talent to go with the Tigers, no question about that, top of the ladder. But they look to be in a little bit of trouble at the moment.
Morrison got it from Lovell. Miranda slapped it out. Bowden knocks it inside the 50. Here's Jakovich again, close to the boundary line. It's the kick-off, back towards centre wing. Terrifically done by Prescott, who's been most impressive. Cradles it in the one arm, kicks inside the 50. Bullis almost. There's the siren. He'd be happy, Robert Walls. Great start by the Tigers. 4-2 to 1-4.
You mentioned Prescott. He's had 10 kicks in the first quarter.
Something being said out there. Chris Lewis and the umpire having a word. And these days we're never sure what that can be about. The respective coaches, I think, tell the story with their facial expressions. Lewis, pretty good term too. Quarter time, the Tigers 4-2, West Coast 1-4.
Campbell, I reckon. Yeah, I don't.
Quarter time here at the MCG. Good start by the Tigers. They are 4-2, 26. The West Coast 1-4-10. Goal kickers there. Although I think there's some conjecture over whether it was Bullis or Campbell. We'll check on that. A reminder too, it's a big night of football on 7 with, of course, Talking Footy coming your way immediately after the game, and the boys having plenty to talk about as round 8 draws towards a close. So I hope you can join them for that immediately after this game tonight. Now, Dipper's down on the boundary line with Matty Rogers. We're pretty well tied up here, boys, as to who kicked that goal, Bullis or Campbell. Matt, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it was close. I probably should have helped pull Bullis out, being South Australian, but I reckon it was Wayne Campbell's goal. I don't think Bully's toe quite got to it.
So Campbell's got the vote for me as well. But Matthew, importantly, you play the way you train. Obviously, throughout the week, Robbie Walls has certainly put a lot of pressure on the players.
Yeah, he has. You know, he's been pretty ferocious at training and trying to fire the boys right up, and it's obviously working so far. And
the two boys, Brendan Gale and Michael Gale, playing a terrific game.
Oh, they're playing great at the moment, yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
No worries.
It's interesting to look at that again.
Yes, we'll certainly talk about that later. I think it was Andy Lovell coming off the ground for the West Coast. We might get Dipper just to check their bench changes. They're going to have to start this quarter in a more aggressive fashion than they completed the first quarter, because the Tigers certainly did win that as far as determination and all those other intangibles are concerned.
So here we go, second quarter at the MCG. Grgic tries the tap, Campbell down towards Daffy. It's a high kick up towards the 50. Miranda waits in front, but it's belted clear towards Lewis. Past the big men in the middle. Eagles will be very keen to get the first goal. Managed only one in the first quarter. Donnelly comes wide. Schofield inside 50, and Ball takes the mark. He was the man who kicked their first goal, their only goal.
And I've already got him written down for 2 here. I'd jumped the gun a little bit earlier in the first quarter, but he has to kick this one to make up for his poor miss in the first term.
Tidy up your bookkeeping.
Exactly. Just 15 metres out and missed. See what he can do this time. From 48 metres, better looking kick off the boot. And he has got his second goal. No, he's missed it. Well. What's that? 1-2 to Jason Ball and 1-5 to the West Coast Eagle. 6 shots apiece, but they trail.
Turner to Kellaway on the bounce. From half back, sends play up towards the wing. At right angles across the line. Is it well trained?
I hope your book will be tidied up.
Yes, I hope so.
Got him down for 3 now. Gale and Grgic. Gale superbly done to Broderick. Kicks down towards the 50. Full-chested Bullis, 55 metres out. Plays on immediately. Centering kick intended for Charles. Off his fingertips, down in front. Worsfold off the deck. He's outnumbered here. Has he got the pace? No, Daffy comes away with it. Upended by McKenna. Floats it down towards full forward. Off hands, Bowden snaps and puts it through. Great anticipation. Off hands, he was there. Threw it on the boot. And the Tigers increase their lead.
Just another great goal here to Richmond. You see there John Worsfold applying the pressure, but Daffy, as he does so well, he does get a very quick foot on the ball, and he got it down to Turnbull, who could not believe that the ball was taken so crisply out of his defensive punch. Great talent again is Joel Browd. Got a couple of good youngsters out here, the Tigers.
21 points now the margin in favour of the Tigers. Grgic wins it, but it's Campbell who takes it away, pushes it down in front of Broderick. Under pressure, he gets the hand pass wide to Barr. Running towards goal, 40 metres out. He shoots and the Tigers are alight.
Well, it was pretty apparent early in the game that the Tigers were here to play and here to fight and here for 4 points. And once again, the Brendan Gale-Paul Broderick duo has created a goal.
was magnificent work on the boundary line some minute or two ago, and then a clear takeaway from the centre bounce set up young Bow for his first for the night.
Back in the middle, what news, Dipper?
Well, Nathan Bell obviously has replaced Mark Chaffee in that second quarter and obviously kicked that great goal there.
Alphabetical onslaught at the present time. Bowden, then Bauer. A bit of man up on a couple of others like Burke and Bullis. Meantime, this is going on. The ball's got the footy. Deep in the pocket. Interesting this. Peter Matera does a little shepherding. The ball running free. Storming up the ground. Dragged down is Funky. That's holding the ball. Philip Matera gets a free kick. The balance of power between Geelong and the West Coast Eagles changed in recent seasons. Jeff Geeshan was there. One of their tactics, I'm sure, was to unsettle Peter Matera. Just about in every game that happened. Jeff Geeshan now with the Tigers. And Peter Matera is being unsettled.
So too was the umpiring fraternity there. Their stats on shepherding has certainly increased this season.
Philip Matera tugs it left. Way left. Curses his rotten luck. 6-2-1-6. The ground awash with Materas. Goes Turner. Kicks it out wide. Gale, Morrison, fell at their feet. Simmons, well done, sitting down. Toe poked it away. Morrison towards the boundary. Prescott escorts that one across, so a boundary throw in. Just over 17 minutes till half time. Matthew Knights sitting it out. It's been a while. Wow. Almost a serve there from Gale. Dragged down Morrison. Weapunda comes away, runs to centre half forward, goes across the ground. Gehrig's got it. He would be 55 metres out.
Open goal score.
Grigich going to the square. Gehrig goes in that direction. From behind, ball, big spring. Roderick camped in front, comes away, kicks out very wide. Centimetre perfect. Bounces out of bounds.
12 possessions to Broderick. Matty Rogers down on the sidelines. A man in the outer tonight. Men in the outer. Boundary riders.
I'm going to talk to Matty later too.
There's the throw-in. Brendan Gale. A high kick. Matera unable to take it. An opposition to Bow. The Eagles desperate for their second goal. Jason Ball kicking their first and only in the first quarter. Call for 50, but no, says the umpire. Brendan Gale picks up the ball and we'll go back.
Does the Geeshan unsettling plan involve a rotation of players with Matera having?
I know nothing. I'm just making an observation. Oh, same blokes get unsettled though.
Well, he started with Michael Gale doing the unsettling, and now Nathan Bauer.
Joel Bowden went way too early. It's got to be an Eagles ball. Has to be an Eagles ball. Donnelly's on centre wing. Goes in towards Ball, who marks just inside 50, but he'll be kicking well outside.
And that was just Donnelly's second kick. Gasper doing quite well. And the Eagles struggling to find a forward that's in front at the moment.
Goes in towards full forward, spills over the back, slams into the behind post. So we'll have a throw in. 1-6 plays 6-2. Good kicking for goal by the Tigers. Gale wins it, pushes wide. Donnelly and Gasper. Grigich again. Turner to Broderick. 13th possession. Cousins, however, takes the mark in front of Chris Bong. Plays on towards Matera. also picking up plenty of possessions. A Worsfold in two minds, eventually goes short to Chad Morrison. Still a long way out.
Matera hurt.
The Garrick lead ignored.
And umpire's going to take it off him shortly.
Ilya Grigic is probably just as far out. This time he goes to Heady. A more penetrating kick in towards a big pack of players at full forward. Bauer goes from the back pocket to Bowden on the half-back flank.
And for all their chances, not a lead forthcoming from the Eagles forwards. They had two or three fellows in the square, all looking to take the big specky.
He passes in towards Duncan Kellaway. Plays on to Campbell. Now the Tigers starting to run. Broderick, Prescott. May come unstuck here, although Broderick just keeps on going like a steam train. Gives it away to Chrissy Bond. Bond goes for goal. And the Tigers are hot. (7-2) plays 1-6.
What a great goal it was, and Ben Cousins now in deficit. He's a goal kicker. He hasn't got one. And his opponent has. Chris Bond, an ideal opponent for Ben Cousins. He's so disciplined, great concentration and quick.
Tigers looking terrific. Gale and Grigic. Grigic that time. Schofield slaps it out wide. Broderick working hard, left it behind that time. Matera comes back onto the ball, trying to spin out of trouble, hit hard. Funky. Broderick, and now Bauer forward of the wing, kicks inside the 50. Charles steals himself from behind Turnbull. Miranda crashes the pack. Bad luck, lost it. That would have been some goal had he finished the effort off. Ball to the outer side. Bauer under pressure. Could have been pushed in the back. This is Campbell with the outside of the boot. Sends it down to the pocket. It breaks away from Turnbull. Charles kept it in. Miranda can't keep it in. Boundary throw in. Now to put this in perspective, the Eagles kicked their lowest winning score against Richmond last season, 10-8 to 7-9. So at the present time, 44-12. Tells you about the size of the contract from here. Turnbull out of defence to midfield, gave it away. Gale's got it. Brendan Gale fancies his chances, gets onto the spiral, gives it a ride down to 5 metres out. Jakovic over the top, and the ball spills across the boundary line.
Halfway through the second quarter. Been a good one so far for the Tigers. Lead at 3. McIntosh spoons it straight to Daffy, but his snap is just a little too severe to the right. (45 plays 12). Matty Rogers should be fairly pleased, I would imagine, with that scoreboard at the moment and his side's performance. Cousins, the Norwich rising star, goes from the back pocket towards Grigic on centre wing. Outgunned this time by Brendan Gale. Broderick picks up yet another possession. Have it to Gasper on to Campbell. Into full forward again. They're peppering away here. Joel Bowden again. He's got 2. The Tigers have got 8. 8-3 plays 1-6.
Well, we're just midway through this second term, and unless the Eagles start to find some form, this game will be over within 5 or 6 minutes, because the Tigers just continue to pamper the goals and the Eagles don't look like going forward.
At 3-1-6. Fury got it down. Campbell, though, hurriedly onto the boot. McKenna couldn't control it. Heady was taken high. Simmons into the path of Morrison, through the middle, down towards half forward. Philip Matera, 70 metres out from goal. Towards the pocket, Lewis slipping away from Prescott. He's marked at a sharp angle.
The call's been made. McIntosh has now gone forward, and Fraser Gehrig is in defence on Burke. So they're going to have to throw the side around just to try and pinch 2 or 3 goals, just to resurrect that scoreboard somewhat and get some momentum going into half-time.
Guy McKenna. Meantime, Lewis kicks it behind. Andy Lovell off the ground. Dipper.
Yeah, Dennis, a little bit concerned down here for Andy Lovell. Underneath that white blanket, his left knee has been heavily bandaged and packed with ice. Looks like he's jarred his knee.
Nothing going right for the Eagles. Brilliant kick in from Turner. In stride, hit Jamie Tate. Boots it down towards half forward. Heady. Could have been held approaching that one. Loose ball. Bullis leaps over the ball. Fights on. Jakovic ties it up. Bowden in there wrestling as well. Ball up. Left half forward for the Tigers. Jakovic back in action as if he hadn't been away. One wonders what's going through his mind tonight after watching Jason Dunstall yesterday. Saw him turn in a greasy patch earlier. That's something he would like to see, and of course terrible luck for Jason. Campbell, Roderick working it close to the boundary line. Well played, quick hands, smothered off the boot by Cousins. Campbell looking for the quick kick, going in there, the youngster wouldn't. It's across the boundary line. Richmond lead 51-13.
Yes, it's been like a drought for the West Coast. Just that one goal coming early on in the first term. Past Cousins, bombed towards the boundary line on centre wing and over. Such an important game for the Tigers if they're to stay in the hunt. Guy McKenna, his 200th. Appears to have recovered. Gale from Campbell. Towards left half forward. Gehrig in trouble. Here they go again. Bond. His right foot kick goes over the line. He's got it down to the 50-metre line. So a throw in on left half forward. Justin Charles. The effervescent Justin Charles. Morrison. A hand pass out the back. Bond will be first to it. Well claimed by Simmons. Over the line. So another throw in. Ball goes at the second attempt. Oh, try the third. But gives it away. Gasper takes the hand pass from Barr. From half back. Pops it up over the middle. Big pack of players. Broderick lurking in front if he can get there in time. He can't. The Eagles can get down towards McIntosh and Co in the forward line. They desperately need to score. But Matera is beaten again. And it goes towards the outer side, courtesy of a Ross Funky. Miranda was his target. Gehrig is there, gets the hand pass clear, but puts his teammate under real pressure. Miranda gives it out towards Charles. Charles, the big man, goes in towards centre half forward. It's okay, they're looking good at the moment. Barr goes for goal, and it's a long kick by Bowden. He's done it again. 3 goals to Joel Bowden. There's Nathan Barr saying well done. They've both been amongst the goals this quarter. But Bowden has got 3 for the turn.
You do have these nights occasionally. The Tigers haven't had one this season, but this is obviously going to be their night. They are playing superb football. Almost unstoppable. Winners in every position. And a great delight for all Tiger supporters.
So the premiership favourites in all sorts of trouble. Begs the question, should they be premiership favourites? Probably not anymore. The market would be changing as we speak. Daffy tries to knock it on. Gale. They haven't travelled well, the West Coast Eagles, for 18 months. Bauer. He's marked at 40 metres out. Chance to kick his fourth. What a turn.
And the aspect of travelling, I think, is always heightened when you play at night.
Yep, sure. No good things coming in tonight.
And despite the fact that the stadium perhaps just under half full, the atmosphere is probably triple that of a day game, given the fact that it is dark, and that adds the spectre of a roof to the stadium.
Gun barrel straight. 4 for Bowden.
Bluey McKenna coming off the ground in his 200th game to be replaced by David Hart, as we see a talent that most people around the Tigerland thinks can kick the ball as well as Royce Hart. They remind him of him, given the fact that he is a left footer, and he certainly kicks it as straight as the great Royce used to.
Yeah. Matty Rogers, there's
Joel
something
Bowden,
magical about a
great
left footer,
kicker
isn't there?
with the football.
Back in the middle once again. Jason Ball for the West Coast Eagles, but it's beaten. Look at the Tigers just running in numbers. They're everywhere at the moment. Charles gets a hurried kick towards centre wing. John Worsfolder's there. Beats Miranda on this occasion. Floats the hand pass towards Lewis, who's right on centre wing. Kicks straight into the runner. Ricochets off. Back towards Miranda. Now Charles. Still on centre wing. Up towards left half forward. Garrick gave a not so subtle shove on Burke, and he will take the free kick. Wants to get on with it quickly. Still a long way out. The lead is on. The pass is there. Gale couldn't quite pick it up on the half volley. He goes to ground. Turnbull over the top. Daffy asks the question. We'll have a bounce.
Matthew, just ask you about the form of Brendan Gale. He really does appear to be more comfortable playing the majority of his game in the ruck.
Yeah, he's playing a great game tonight, and he's looking real good, getting a lot of taps down to Brodders, and Brodders is getting a lot of possessions at the moment. It's great.
Yes, he certainly is, Broderick. Heady beaten. Speaking of the devil, here goes Broderick. Up towards the forward line once again. Garrick's floating hand pass finds Matera, whips it onto the boot. Michael Gale underneath it, takes the mark. Got loose players in at half forward, and finds Charles. Call to play on now. 75 metres out. In towards centre half forward. West Coast Eagles defence really being tested. They're peppering the goals, and Nathan Bauer gets into the action. His second. Bauer and Bowden have booted 6 between them for the quarter. 11-3 plays 1-7.
Yes, what a fantastic goal. And we might just ask our boundary rider in Matthew Rogers about the impact of Jeff Geeshan. I wonder, in fact, whether that has been the case, trying to unsettle Peter Matera, because he's now had 2 goals kicked on him by Nathan Bauer. Is there any truth in that rumour, Matthew?
Jeff Geesham's been really good for us coming from Geelong, and yeah, Nathan Bauer has come in tonight. He's playing really well on the wing, kicked a couple of goals. So.
Has he pinpointed Peter Matera, though?
Sorry about that?
Has he pinpointed Peter Matera?
I think he may have, yes.
Burke off, Nichols on.
Josh Wooden taken high. He doubted me. Free kick coming back.
Trying to establish the credibility of your sources.
Back to the boundary. Here's Dipper.
Yes, what are we here for?
No idea.
Guy McKenna, thank you. So we just talking about Rogers. Guy McKenna looks like a mild concussion. I've been speaking to the doctor, and he assures me he's okay, but just looking at the guy there, he looks like he's in a bit of trouble at the moment.
Who got hit, you or him? There's Bauer running through midfield, down towards half forward from 60 metres out. High one towards full forward. Knocked away down there by Turnbull. Getting back his heart across the line it goes. Guy McKenna off the ground. Another body blow. Nowhere to celebrate 200.
Paul Simons has now been pushed onto Nathan Bauer.
Turnbull and Gale. Body to body. Gale plucks it. Dragged down immediately. 20 there. And a bounce. Just over 6 minutes to half time, but it would appear the bird already has flown. 69-13. Robert Walls coaching his 40th game at Richmond, looking for win number 15. Gale towards the pocket. Peter Matera tries to go off the ground, miscues, bounces across the line.
Looking inside 50 always indicates who's had possession of the football. And at the present time, Richmond in this quarter have gone in there 14 times and the West Coast have gone down 7. 1 goal to almost half time. It's extraordinary.
Morrison at the back towards centre wing. Cousins had it for a moment but then ran into a Richmond wall. Picked up by Bond, a high kick towards the 50. Where are the runners? Jakovic is there defending for West Coast. Will find Heady. But it's been an onslaught as far as Richmond are concerned. 11 goals to 1 and still 5 minutes before half-time. Chris Bond has 1 goal in this quarter.
Budding goal umpire.
Joel Bowden and Nathan Bauer have done the bulk of the goal damage. 6 between them. And Morrison at the back. Campbell does the hassling. He's at the bottom there, Wayne Campbell. Club champion in 1995. Now playing his 127th game. Hayden Kennedy is the umpire. Grigich slaps it towards Heady. Spun as he takes the kick down towards half forward. Cousins in trouble. Now Prescott to left half forward. Bullis appeared to have been held. Nichols keeps it in. Bauer back towards Bullis again, shoveling it towards the 50-metre line. Plenty of Eagles there. It's picked up eventually by Grigich off to Schofield. Still they search for their second goal, and with tackling like that it will not come easy. Tate. Jamie Tate running across half-back. Pushes forward. Now Bauer. Richmond players running everywhere. Nichols in towards Charles. Booted out of his hands by Lewis. Morrison takes the hand pass. He's in the middle of the MCG. Goes long, inside 50. The umpire goes down yet again. Bond ridden into the ground and held illegally. He'll take the free kick. 3.5 minutes before half time. Miranda coming back onto the ground as Bond decides to head to the other side, and Jamie Tate. He's got a lot of space ahead of him.
Tigers lead by 56 points. Tate short to Campbell. He holds it up. 13 possessions for Campbell. On the lead, the star of the opening half. Bowden wheels around, kicks inside the 50. Down towards Gale, almost the grab. Daffy is there. Turnbull tries to pluck it away. Daffy, the loose ball. Snaps and gets another one. It's waning goals. Daffy's second.
Well, right now we're worrying about percentages and records. This game is well and truly over at half-time, which is pretty disappointing. I'm not sure whether the Tiger supporters will be wanting the side swabbed or whether in fact they'll be just delirious with this victory, because this isn't the Tigers that we've seen for most of this season, but they did show great signs last week against the Blues.
Three behinds have been scored by the West Coast in this quarter. Grigich wins it, but they cannot take it out of the middle. Bauer and Bond combine, the latter with a high kick. Hart was there, couldn't take it. Bauer gives it away to the duck, and Daffy goes for goal again. It's 8 goals, 2 for the term for Richmond.
It's difficult to come to terms with the fact that the West Coast kicked 21 goals at the Gabba last week. And the way they're travelling, they'll be going at half-time with just one on the board.
There's just a couple of minutes remaining before half-time. Heady should take this on the outer wing. Despite the attention he does, gives it across to Glenn Jakovic. Now Simmons puts them inside 50, but Gaspar holds up that attack. He's got Michael Gale wide, who can run down towards the wing. Matera gives chase. His kick is not a good one, and a good diving mark taken just on the defensive side of centre wing by Josh Wooden. Finds Heady in the middle. He has a long look, then goes down towards Wirpunda, unable to take the mark. Cousins shows blistering pace, then goes to ground, tries to get it out to a teammate. He does in McIntosh, who pops through the fourth behind and the fourth score for the Eagles for the quarter.
Paul Broderick just having a rest. He's had a pretty good evening as a midfielder. He's also been a defender. He's combined beautifully with Brendan Gale on a number of occasions for goals for the Tigers.
Broderick directly to Worsfold, but Turner's kicking in has been a treat. There's the kick back from Worsfold, close to the boundary line. Gaspar, Matera dragged him down. The umpire has gone across to award a free kick to the Tigers. It's the kicking in from Tape and Turner on occasions. Has really cut up the West Coast Eagles. Gehrig's got the ball. Plays on. Matera. Back to Gehrig. In space. Fraser Gehrig on the wing. Decides to go for one of his runs. Cuts infield. Probing kick inside the 50. All too easy. Jamie Tape on his chest. 76-14. Remarkable. Tape to the outer side. Clock running down to half-time. Wait for the roar. This is Chaffee. Told to play on. Here's the siren. One right out of the textbook. The Tigers have pummeled the West Coast Eagles. Half-time. Guy McKenna's 200th is turning very sour. 12-4 to 1-8.
But at the same time, a big night for Brendan Gale. It's the 150th.
For Matthew Knights looks a little bewildered. I'm sure they expected to be very competitive and even in front at half-time, but certainly not the way the scoreboard looks.
Look at that. Richmond at 12-4-76. West Coast, 1 goal, 8. It's an interesting looking scoreline, isn't it? Half-time at the MCG. The West Coast booting 4 behinds in that second quarter. Richmond, on the other hand, booting 8 goals too. It's 12-4 to 1 goal 8. Quite amazing. 76 plays 14. The Tigers in complete control. I think the boys are settling in on the couch for Talking Footy, which comes your way straight after this game tonight. Bruce, good evening.
Sandy, yes, good evening. We can't believe it in here either. 12-4 to 1-8. Lee Matthews and Mike Sheehan. Reminds us of that match on Anzac Eve a couple of years ago when Richmond kicked 8 goals in the first, 12 minutes against North Melbourne.
They might be queuing up for the Monday night game. They saved their best form for them by the look of it.
Any way out, do you think, for West Coast right now?
You wouldn't think so. I mean, at this stage, it'd be long odds on Richmond. It'd be a gigantic turnaround for the Eagles to make up this deficit.
Can you believe what you're seeing, Mike?
No, we've been wondering for 18 months where the intensity of 1995 had gone. Well, wherever it was, it's back, isn't it?
It sure is. Well, plenty about that match later tonight on Talking Footy. We'll go to the press conference, and obviously that's going to be very interesting. Wayne Jackson is our special guest, the Chief Executive Officer. He's had a very promising start to that career, hasn't he?
He has. He's made a big impression, but I'm really looking forward to sitting down with him 8 rounds into his first season.
So he's our special guest tonight. Jason Dunstall, if he's unable to play, just the repercussions. I mean, not only Dunstall, but 2 other great full forwards at the moment of the last decade are also under a huge cloud, aren't they?
Well, they're calling it Coventry's curse, Bruce. I mean, just the 3 who threatened Gordon Coventry's long-standing record are all in trouble, aren't they? I mean, Ablett, Dunstall and Locker. Big queries over all 3 of them.
It's a very new curse. It's only turned up in the last year.
No, but I mean, these 3 have been headed towards 1,200 or thereabouts for some time.
It's taken a long time. Well, what Coventry played in the 30s, so it's taken 60-odd years for any player to even threaten his record. It's been just... And the way goals were probably scored back in the 30s, it must have been an amazing effort by Coventry to have kicked those goals.
Well, Dunstall's been responsible for a number of remarkable things on the field. Also, one remarkable quote off the field that appeared in the Herald Sun a couple of years ago. We'll revisit that, and also revisit Kevin Sheedy, one of his quotes this year.
Yes, we will, with great interest, Bruce, about his pre-season tip about the Bears.
Quentin Leach and the drama that surrounded the last goal yesterday at Subiaco. After the siren goal, Gerard Neesham's statement about his former halfback flanker, and then the Michael Voss incident where Roger Merritt was also involved and Jason Akermanis. Scenes that we very rarely see on a football field.
Yes, it's an emotional game, isn't it? And there's nothing more emotional when it's decided on the siren. I mean, the emotions we see for the winning side and then the downer for the losing side to actually go down in that manner.
The stakes were huge yesterday, weren't they, for both these teams? A home game for Fremantle and one that the Brisbane Lions just had to win.
Yeah, and up until a second or 2 before the siren, they might have.
They're in trouble, aren't they, the Lions? We're going to have a look at the odds right now compared with the odds at the beginning of the season, and boy, if you fancy them now, you're going to get some value. So there's a lot to go on Talking Footy coming up tonight, right after the match between Richmond and also West Coast. So, Sandy, go back to you now at half-time.
Thank you, Bruce, and thank you, boys. Look forward to that. Talking Footy coming away immediately after the game here tonight at the MCG. It was a big night for Seven last night with, of course, the Logies, with Seven successfully winning 11 out of the 22. A marvellous performance, and here's one of the reasons why.
But Kieran Perkins stand and salute Australia.
As I said earlier, the great moments in sport come when they're least expected. That's what makes them great. And we're seeing one now. Something out of the box. A great Australian is swimming away from this field. He was down and out yesterday. One of the great swims of all time. Kieran Perkins, forget the time. This is all about courage.
You are seeing the best of the best. You are a superstar, Kieran Perkins.
Savour the moment, Australia. We'll bring Perkins in. About 15 metres to swim. This is rare gold. The best kind of gold. Perkins goes in first. What a great win.
He deserved a great fall, and it got it. You heard an extract there from Neil Brooks. The best of the best. Dennis Committee, Neil Brooks and Lindley Frame, well done. And also to AJ, our cameraman, who was there at the right time, and Kieran celebrated rather publicly with Samantha Lou after the event. We captured it all on the Seven Network. To the viewers, the TV Week, and to everybody here tonight, thanks very much. And we'll see you in Sydney, and also in 2004, 2008, and Nagano next year. See you later.
Yes, without doubt, one of the greatest moments in sport. It's a long way, isn't it, from Georgia Tech to the boundary?
It is, yes, all in what? The space of a few months.
No, congratulations, Dan. It was a fantastic call, and I guess one of the greatest moments for you in sport.
Well, it was a big day, wasn't it? I mean, remembering he just got into that final. Just got in by a touch and suddenly comes out that night and wins the whole thing. Terrific. I remember the day very well, and we were all very nervous, the whole team, and eventually we got the result we were chasing.
Fantastic performance. A Special Achievement Award there for Channel 7 and their efforts at the Olympic Games. We'll take a break more shortly from the MCG.
A
Blistering second quarter by Richmond has really ripped the heart out of the West Coast Eagles at the moment. 12-4-76. The West Coast are 1 goal, 8 of 14. Don't forget, for all the footy news, fun and mayhem, join the footy show and the panel on 7. The footy panel every Sunday morning. If you missed it last week, this is the sort of thing you missed from the footy panel.
It's over. I'm looking for a seat in the legend stand. They're a bit dear.
There'll be a seat there for you, Bob.
I think we can still improve a hell of a lot. Like I always knew, you could go to Libba and you could look Libba down the eye and really give him a spray and he'd stare right back and you say, I've got you. And he'd come back at you.
It's called himself, Gary. There you are. You've got
It is mayhem, isn't it, the footy panel every Sunday morning?
Yes, and conducted by the master of mayhem in Rex.
Let's talk about this game at the MCG, Jared. Second quarter, all one-way traffic.
Well, not just the second quarter, the first quarter, the second quarter, it was just unbelievable stuff. And these games only come through once every now and again in your career almost. And the Tigers, I mean, they expected to win tonight, there'd be no doubt about that. But to do it so easily is just astounding. Everybody at the ground, and a pretty big night for the Bees, the killer Bees of Richmond, the likes of Bullis, Bauer, Burke, you name it. They started with B if they were kicking goals here tonight. And there's another one for Nathan Bauer, who got 2 goals in the second term, and it really did just blow out to a massive start there. And you can see here now the inside 50 metres, what a dominance for the Tigers, 37-23. Turnovers favoured the Eagles under those stats, and the centre hit-outs quite even. Centre breaks relatively even. I think Brendan Gale has been a pretty good player for the Tigers, but who knows where we're going to lead. I'm sure Robert Walls is down there just absolutely frustrated. Where was this form 4 weeks ago when all the knives are out?
Yeah, they're looking to make it 4-4 the way they're going to. They're certainly going to do that, and percentage as well. As we take a break, more shortly. Welcome back to the MCG. If you've just joined us and you're a Richmond fan, you'll be pretty happy with this scoreboard. If you're a West Coast fan, it's not good at the moment. 12-4 plays 1-8 as we go down to the boundary line. And the chief rider, Dipper.
Thanks very much, Sadie. Well, what a great first half. The atmosphere in the rooms must have been fantastic.
Oh yeah, it was great. When I went in there, the team was divided into forwards, backs and mids, and everyone was having a say. Everyone was really pumped up. It's great.
And when the team is divided, have they got sort of separate coaches?
Yeah, Wolsey will have one, and Geesh has got one, and Ross Lyon's got one also.
And who are the players who sort of rep up the guy? Like, I suppose Justin Charles would be one of them, wouldn't he?
Yeah, Charlesy has a lot to say, and Wayne Campbell has a lot, and Benny Gale has a lot to say also.
Have you been impressed with the side? I mean, obviously you came here after a bit disappointing the last couple of weeks, but the boys have just played exceptional tonight.
Oh yeah, the boys are really fired up tonight. I don't know, it's just great, and just hope they keep it going in the second half.
Maybe it's the drink you had at the 50th birthday. Some of the guys there yesterday?
No, I didn't actually have a drink, but I heard you had a couple.
No, cut that out. Back to you, Sandy.
Thank you, boys. Dipper and Matthew Rogers down there on the boundary line. We're just about set to go the second half here at the MCG. There is Wayne Campbell shouting final orders before Hayden Kennedy gets the second half underway. Ilya Grigic doing the ruck work. Lewis tries to take it out of the middle for the West Coast Eagles. Eventually does get a short left foot kick down towards half forward. It's socket off the ground. That was by Turner towards the outer wing. The two number ones, Hetty and Gale. The latter's kick goes out of bounds on the full. Brett Heady brings it back in. It's quite incredible to think that the West Coast are still looking for their second goal of the match. Free kick to Donnelly there. They're all over him. They do have it down in their forward line at the moment. Brendan Gale looking to celebrate his 150th. Pokes it towards the line. And seeing it over was Duncan Kellaway. 76 plays, 14. Not a big crowd here tonight, but they're certainly enthusiastic. Most naturally enough Richmond supporters, though the West Coast do have some here, which is good to see. Here goes Justin Charles, ever enthusiastic and effervescent. He bends one back, and just misses to the right. That would have brought the house down. It almost did anyway. It was only a behind.
Justin would have done a backflip if that one had gone through.
Down to the boundary line, Dipper.
Yes, Andy, I'm just checking the West Coast bench. Guy McKenna hasn't made it out yet. I just talked to the doctor and he assures me he'll be out very shortly. Keep an eye on that one.
Yes, disappointment for him in his 200th game.
Here's Simmons working back. Gehrig. Peter Matera to the opposite side of the ground. David Hart up from the back pocket. 77-14. Weapunda. Great grab. Fully extended there. Up near the wing. And up ahead, Jason Ball. Still on the move. It goes in that direction eventually. Donnelly worked in front. Kellaway found it on the ground. Close to the boundary line. Across it goes. And a throw in. Gale and Grigich. The latter thumps it about 20 metres. Gaspar upended. Kellaway falling to the ground to Campbell. Good evasion from half-back. High towards the wing. Almost a clever mark to Daffy. Brilliantly done. Gathered the bouncing ball. Burst out of the pack. High kick though. Bouncing down towards centre half forward. Simmons kept his eye on it. Upended. Surrounded by Tigers. Broderick out to Bauer. Bauer at centre half forward, hooks it down towards full forward, in front. Bullis met very solidly, down he went. Burke is put down. Trainer comes out quickly, and it seems a report may be made here. The umpire having words to Fraser Gehrig. Bullis seems to be okay. Rowan soars across very quickly, and as you can see, the pad is out. Bullis very much shaken, but no real damage it seems. Better him than me. Fraser Gehrig not happy. 5 goals last week on the forward line. Now in defence and on report. Paul Bullis savouring the moment directly in front. This to increase the lead to, what is it now, 63-69. Should kick it. Right through. Gutsy goal, his second.
Just 17 for a career that has generally been played in the back line or the back half.
Another B.
Another B. It's been a big night here for the Bees. Killer Bees here at Tigerland. Bowden's got 4. Bullis has got a couple. Bauer.
Baffy.
Yes, and Nick Baffy has got also had a big night.
Guy McKenna still on the sidelines, just coming out actually. Let's hope he is going to be okay. He's been such a great player for the Eagles as Grigich floats a hand pass over the top towards Morrison. Goes down towards full forward over the top now. Which way is this going to bounce? McIntosh caught behind. Kellaway defends. Just pushes it out towards Campbell. He's got Michael Gale further down the ground. Uses that player now, and here starts the run. Michael Gale's away. Runs his full distance. Goes towards the 50. The pass is good. The mark is fine by Burke. And we'll see another shot for goal by the Tigers.
Yeah, fine mark. That ball was dipping quickly. It was a tough one to take. Some suggestion that he's still struggling with a bit of a shoulder. Dislocated it in one of the opening matches.
To Broderick. Picked up a ton of possessions in the first half. Back to Burke. Bending it in towards full forward, and Grigic is quite happy to concede a behind. David Burke kicked a goal in the first quarter after taking a fantastic diving mark. Turnbull bringing it in. Broadcast side with a kick. Jankovic over the top of Burke. Prescott grabs Burke, grabs the ball, grabs anything he can find in there, and we'll have a bounce. After round 7, the Tigers had a percentage of 78.3. There's another story. Gale thumps it down. Miranda, little poke at that one. Bowden to Campbell, hurriedly down towards full forward. And Gehrig takes the mark to Matera. So this is all about building a percentage for the Tigers, and this is the way to do it. Kick plenty yourself and keep the opposition right down. They've done that. Worsfold up towards the wing. Ball, Gaspar spills wide of the congestion. Still Gaspar, well played. Hit hard by Ball across the line, and it will be thrown in. 84-14. Darren Gaspar been very good this season. Long time between drinks. Daffy down behind. Socket off the ground by Grigic. Into the path of Tape. Under pressure. Trying to go to the boundary. Weapunda with dash. Still he goes, the youngster. Well played. Combining with another one. Cousins twisting and turning. Centres the ball. Well done. Grigic has run on. He's marked this one about 45 out to Donnelly. And Donnelly will shoot at goal from about 30 out. 3 goals last week against Brisbane. Likes kicking goals against the Lions. Career high 5 last season against Brisbane. This for their second goal. Their first since the 5-minute mark of the opening term. Looks pretty good. It's a goal.
Well, it's good to see some level of resistance here from the Eagles. I guess, Dennis, it's over a period of time. It's been when the Eagles have had a bad night. It's generally a really bad night.
Yeah, well, they haven't travelled well, as we said before, in recent times.
'84 plays 20. Gale wins it. Matera tries to slap it out in the middle towards Campbell. It's being chased and harassed by Philip Matera now. Still Philip Matera goes. Sneaks away towards McIntosh. Tried to flick it back to him. Eventually has plenty of time to look towards half forward. Ball was there. Cousins came out. Michael Gale runs the circle and then heads towards the boundary line on the foot. So the Eagles another chance to go deep in their attacking zone through Philip Matera. Still a long way out. Slips as he takes the kick just a little. Weapunda scouting. He snaps in towards goal. Goes across the face, however. And out of bounds in the left forward pocket. Guy McKenna still on the bench. Cousins does the roving work, runs into trouble, forced to get rid of it, will go again. Tape on all fours, gets it out nicely towards Bond. A little underground hand pass is going to be okay. Now they're out of trouble. Back towards centre wing. No mark taken. Play on was the call. Johnny Worsfold. The look away hand pass is all right to Morrison. Runs wide. Heads towards McIntosh. With him is Gaspar. Michael Gale goes back towards centre wing, and Brett Heady gives the hand pass wide to the youngster in Josh Wooden.
Brett Heady's been one of the Eagles' best players tonight. There hasn't been too many people for the Eagles that have won in their position. But Heady has been at least one player that's been getting plenty of the ball across that half-back line.
Ricketts from behind knocks it forward. Heady again into the action. Simmons taken high, no whistle. Or was there? May have been. Advantage paid in any case. He kicks inside the 50. Tate couldn't control it. Matera looking for a free kick. Not there. Kellaway falling to the ground. Hand passes out wide. Prescott over the ball. Pulled it back in. He could be lucky here. He is. There'll be a ball up. Prescott not really trying to get that ball out of there. But the umpire showing some compassion. Hayden Kennedy. Ashley Prescott made his debut in '93 under Alan Jeans. Jeans the one season with the Tigers. McIntosh towards the boundary. Long night for the West Coast Eagles. And for that man, Michael Malthouse.
The option's pretty limited now with Andy Lovell and Guy McKenna on the bench and effectively out of the game.
Gaspar knocks it down. Wide of the pack, Cousins. Simmons slips away. Pulls it back towards full forward. Good effort from there. Funky goes back though. Too tall. Reaching over Matera. Just angling the ball back across the line. Conceding a behind. Surprising really with the bench the Eagles came in with tonight. No place for Spinks. I would have thought he would have been a chance. The sameness about the bench. Here's Broderick.
On half-back. 10 kicks, 14 hand passes to Broderick. Been a very, very good player. Prescott towards right half forward. Well done by Boss. Seems to have recovered from that heavy knock. Still a long way out. Just goes long into full forward, goes over the back, and Burke sees it through for one behind. Paul Bullis has 2 goals to his credit, one in the first term and one in this quarter. Heady goes from the back pocket towards Morrison on centre wing. He's got a chance to run here towards David Wirapunda. Tate right there with him. Morrison follows down and soccers it clear. Ricochets back to Wayne Campbell. Goes in towards Kellaway. Floating hand pass to Tate is okay. Jamie Tate looks towards the wing area where Joel Bowden, the star of the second term when he booted 4 goals, sees it over the line.
And I think the other plus about Paul Bullis's game is that he has kept Glenn Jakovic to really a defensive role rather than an attacking role. Jakovic, with 5 possessions in the first term, looked as if he was setting himself, but just 3 in the second term and none to date means he really hasn't been his effective offensive self.
Brendan Gale towards Broderick.
We tend to mark him hard. I know he's only been back for 3 weeks, but his first game back seemed pretty good.
To say anything.
Probably 13-7 to 2-9 says it all.
Correct. If you really dink him, you take your mouth guard out, don't you?
Hey. Broderick has been brought to within 30 metres. Now straight down into the square. And he's going to be given a goal. Justin Charles just going over to Paul Bullis, having a few words to say. They all head back to the centre because Broderick is going to pop this over the top for a goal. Some feeling in this one. And Peter Matera being spoken to. It's umpire Gavin Della, SOB, son of Bill.
It's a Queen's Birthday Award. I think the important thing now for the West Coast Eagles is just to limit the damage. They're obviously going to cop a fearful hiding here and have to live with that for the next 6 or 7 days. They've got Fraser Gehrig on report, and the last thing they need is for one of their star players to lose his cool under the heat of the moment and get himself reported and miss a couple of weeks.
Absolutely. Need to maintain the discipline. The game is shot. 14-7-2-9. Gale and Grigic at their feet. Power didn't appear to have the ball. And the whistle, and it's getting very untidy in there. Bauer and Matera with a history on the night. And the umpire Owen Saw, is making his point now. Needs to settle this down.
It's interesting talking to John Fitzgerald, former Davis Cup star. He was saying that most professional tennis players have to get used to the concept of losing, because they do that more than winning. Whilst that's a difficult notion for football, this is probably one occasion where the Eagles have to accept that they're going to go down.
Bond inside the 50 to Burke. He's marked about 45 metres out, if that. The margin currently resting at 70 points.
And just to expand on that a little bit, that doesn't mean that you throw the towel in by any means. But it means that you don't do something stupid in the heat of the moment and create an even bigger black hole for the club.
Well, we talked yesterday about the tactics employed against James Hurt, and I suppose again we've got to ask the question about these niggling tactics off the ball. Not as pronounced tonight, certainly, against Matera.
Interesting you bring that up, though, Dennis, given the history of Mick Malthouse and his midfield setups.
Burke, it's bending back. At the top of the post. But it's a vexing question. It's been in footy for a long time, but whether it's good is yet another question. Gehrig to himself. Comes away out of the back pocket. High one. Tigers have the numbers out here. 3-on-1. No chance really for Simmons. Burke in the back, was it? No free kick. Yes, it is a free to Prescott, but Simmons, not a bad result for the West Coast Eagles given the ratio.
Ashley Prescott in game number 54. In towards full forward. Bullis was the flyer. Gehrig sneaks away. Somehow gets through some heavy traffic and then floats through the middle with deceptive speed. Couple of bounces, he's still going. Now another one. He may go all the way, Fraser Gehrig. He's 49 metres out from goal. Shoots in towards full forward. Wirrapunda got a hand to it. And it goes over for one behind. Deserved a goal, that run from Fraser Gehrig. 2-10. Plays 14-8.
Yes, the midfield setups of the Eagles' power years with Pike and Fatty Lamb in the middle were almost the king of the scrag. They won some premierships with it. So I'm sure most clubs would be saying it's just a little bit of repaying in kind. But I think you're right, Dennis, after yesterday's performance with Coghlan on Hurd, it maybe needs to be looked at, but I'm not sure what you're going to do about it.
Turner to Campbell to Kellaway to Gale M. Bullis. Jakovic over the line. Throw it in, says Rowan Saws.
The problem, of course, Jared, it's proving effective.
It always has been to some degree.
In the last 24 hours or so, very effective.
Yep.
On the outer wing, Grigic with a right fist wins it, but straight down to Michael Gale. He swings in towards half forward once again. Maybe downfield. It is.
Well, the Eagles are looking like rabble at the moment.
Justin Charles from 45. Helicopter punt is going to go through.
At shoulder height.
Huh. Well, that's just about the last straw. 15-8 plays 2-10. And Peter Matera looks as though he does not want to be there.
That may happen very soon.
Let's have another look at this Stephen Kernahan special. Now that has been patented at Carlton many years ago, and Justin Charles is looking for just a little piece of the action. He got it there. That was another goal.
It's the sort of kick that gets under the radar. The defenders are looking up. There's the bounce back in the middle. Heady confronted by Bond. Moves the ball about 5 metres. Roundly booed as Matera. Gaspar almost. Valiant attempt. Now Donnelly. Weapunda about 40 metres out. Back to the 50. Simmons on the left foot towards the pocket. Lewis. Unsighted in this term. Tried hard in the first half. And Lewis now only about 35 metres out. And as we predicted, Peter Matera being saved for another day. The gun goes back in the holster. Meantime, Lewis kicks. That's a fine effort from there. Touch of class.
Well, Chris Lewis would have been vying for best on ground honours at quarter time at 8 possessions. But then Ashley Prescott, who had a pretty big first quarter in his own right with 10 kicks, really did tighten the screws on him, and he's had just 5 kicks and 2 handballs since that time. That was perhaps his most effective kick since, given that it was a goal. Now you see Prescott continuing to wear him like a glove. But I am still looking to correct that book error with Jason Ball. It's been a long time coming.
Take your record next week.
So you might need it. 70 points is the margin. So they go forward once again. Kick down towards centre half forward by Schofield, taken away by Turner. And the fullback goes up towards right half forward, where the mark is taken by Bulloss. 6.5 minutes remaining in this third term. Charles picks himself up, gets the hand pass out. Burke is the man. Hassel towards the line. Still going is David Burke. Shovels it out the back door. Charles got a hand to it. Comes the way of Broderick. He snaps towards goal and pops through behind. Just ripped it onto the boot. 12 kicks, 14 hand passes. Been a good performance by Paul Broderick. Matthew Rogers, hasn't it?
Yeah, Broderick has played a great game tonight so far, and I hope he keeps it going.
You don't show too much emotion, Matty. Are you pleased with his performance?
He's just filthy that he's not out there.
No, I'm
Sandy.
very happy with the way the boys are going. It's great.
Matthew, a number of your supporters, I'm sure, would be just questioning what has been the significant change tonight.
I just think our skill tonight has been a lot better. We're hitting the targets and we're using the ball a lot longer into our forward line, and our midfield's just killing them at the moment.
But that all comes back to perhaps mental preparedness.
Yeah, I believe that's got a lot to do with it, and just been missing the last month or so, and tonight it's really come together.
Wooden to ball to Lewis. Chris Lewis has kicked one of the 2 West Coast Eagle goals this quarter. And
Dennis,
that was on a very tight angle. This, as you can see, is not at all severe.
Dennis, hazard a guess that if this early onslaught had have happened against a number of other sides in the competition, in particular Essendon, there would have been wholesale changes structurally. We haven't really seen too many. McIntosh has gone forward, Gehrig back. Jakovic still stays at centre half back. Lewis has gone forward now.
I'm not sure there's a lot of flexibility built into this side.
Kick by Lewis is okay. He's got his second.
That's why I made the point about Spinks. I think he gives you some flexibility, but the side they had sort of coming in is pretty restricted. I mean, the changes you make are the changes the opposition expects, aren't they, to a certain extent?
To some degree. I'm not sure about the Spinks one, though, because, I mean, really he is just Jason Ball reincarnated, and with Grikic in the side, you've probably got your big men there.
But he's been in very good form. I just think it releases a key position player, but you could be right.
You've also got Ryan Turnbull, and all of a sudden, if Spinks is on the bench, you're pretty big.
Well, the way some of those players have played tonight, they're expendable, of course. Here's Wooden, the youngster, down towards half forward. It bounces down towards the 50, then skews away. Gaspar with some dash, dragged down. Good tackle by Phil Matera. Simmons, left half forward, goes down towards the pocket. Ball and Turner, well played by the defender. Emphatically over the top, fisting away. Confidence, a remarkable thing. The Tigers getting the fast start tonight, and really the West Coast Eagles never in the hunt. And that man, key factor for them, Third in the best and fairest last season. Ball is hurt. Charles, the man I'm talking about, gets the hand pass away. 7th in the Brownlow was Justin Charles, an excitement machine. Very enthusiastic out there, and very enthusiastic, as we heard, in the rooms as well. Meantime, this battle ensues. No concessions made. Broderick off the deck up towards the wing. Chaffee knocks it back to Broderick. A lot of possessions tonight. Chaffee. Lewis slips away to Hart. It's a hot potato. Hart in trouble. Claim back towards Lewis. Over the top, Simmons pulls it back. Luckily finds the ball. A man looking in the opposite direction. Dikembe Mutombo. Hand pass comes across towards Schofield, who kicks down towards the pocket, and it bounces out of bounds. Well, how about that? You saw that in the NBA playoffs? Dikembe signalling to the crowd, and the ball was in play directly behind him. Meantime, Charles knocks it down. Weapunda is tackled. And a bounce.
Well, it's been a confusing year for tipsters to date. And it's even got more complex with the big battle, the battle of the jacket waving over in Subiaco next week. I thought it was going to be an easy tip for the West Coast, but after tonight, it's not so clear.
I think that boundary riding's got to Den. His ball. It's a high kick. I know he loved it. In towards full forward.
I'm glad it came out right. Say that 10 times.
Exactly right. Well, they've still got an opportunity here. Heady gives the hand pass away. Schofield inside 50. Tripped himself. And Michael Gale steams away. Nathan Bauer kicked a couple of goals in the second term. Wayne Campbell sandwiched, but still gets his kick. Up towards right half forward. Jakovic front spot. Daffy does the roving work. The Ducks away. It slams it into the man on the mark. That was Morrison. Jakovic with brute strength gets through. 25-metre hand pass is okay to Schofield. Morrison's running for him. He's kicking from the 50-metre line. A drop punt that's hardly going to make the distance, and if it does, it'll be way off target. Turner concedes a behind. .411 plays 15-9. Each side has scored 3 goals in this term, but the damage has well and truly been done. Brigic unable to spoil. Gaspar is the man who takes it. Off he goes to Wayne Campbell. Averages almost 30 possessions a week, Wayne Campbell. In towards half forward. The spoilers by Jakovic. Daffy claim. McIntosh also, but he gets it out towards Worsfold. He's under the pump now from Burke. Breaks free. Wooden's hand pass. Miranda on the 50. Shrugs the tackle. Can he keep it in play? Well, he's going to have a crack, but no. Almost down in front of the scoreboard here at the MCG, which at the moment is an embarrassment for the West Coast. But very healthy for Robert Walls and his men.
It's a boundary throw in. Out his side. Gale and Turnbull. Turnbull works in front. Heads for the boundary line. Daffy claimed by Wooden. And Wooden was backhanded there, and I think we'll get a free kick. Umpire spotted that. We'll take no action, but if we saw it again, we see the arm swing back, and now a bit being set out there as well. Play allowed to go on, close to the boundary line. This is Michael Gale. No, it will come back, will it? Now 50. So if we go back to the original incident, the 50 is for what was said, I think, but it was a good call by the umpire. Watch it again, and watch the right arm of the player being tackled. So that was the kick. He takes the kick. There's Wooden up towards the 50. Ball hit it hard. And on the mark, right on the 50. Lewis appeared to be held, and we'll get the free. Prescott can't believe it. Seems to think he was held first. So much happening in so little time. Well, got to credit Ashley with the argument. So Chris Lewis, 2 in this term, 2 for the night, and his 3rd right here. I think he's got it. Take my word for it, he's got it.
Yes, a pretty good goal there to Chris Lewis. Courtesy of an Ashley Prescott tackle. He's part of the conspiracy. He saw us just about to put down Jason Ball for another goal.
What about the dive over the top? Degree of difficulty. Zilcha Rooney.
You're looking for another Logie.
He's back at Georgia Tech. Back to the middle. With under a minute remaining in this third quarter. Down towards Paul Bullis, who gets a favourable bounce. Needs someone going past. Daffy might have to soccer off the ground. He's still going though. Nick Daffy wide to Burke. Tight angle. Be a miraculous goal if he kicks this. He bends it back and puts through the behind. Good effort.
Well, I think in fact he was trying to centre the ball and just skew ifted off the side of the boot.
Bad effort. 59 points the margin. Michael Gale. Charles caught by Grigich, but he's still there. Back to Michael Gale again. He's caught by Heady. Advantage is paid here to Morrison. He lopes away. Grigich, who's walking down into the forward line, gets taken to the ground as the siren sounds. It is three-quarter time, and they are glad. Michael Gale has had enough by the look of that picture, but he's got a quarter to go. The 59-point margin favouring the Tigers. 15-10 to the West Coast. 5-11.
The big screens throughout the course of tonight. You know that we're running a competition to win a fabulous Sharon footy, isn't that right? There it is, it's a Sharon footy signed by the captains of both teams. Now I want you to have a look at the squeeze bottle, your Coke squeeze bottles now, and check out the screen right now. There it is, the lucky number. That number matches the number on the bottom of your Coke bottle. You automatically win this fabulous footy. What we have to do is go down to the catering office. Just opposite gate 1, walk in with your Coca-Cola squeeze bottle, and what do you say?
The West Coast attempting to put some respectability into the scoreboard in that third quarter. They booted 4 goals and in fact outscored Richmond in the goals kicking department, but it was all over by then. 15-10. Plays 5-11. Reminder, of course, talking footy coming away immediately after this game with Bruce and the boys, Lee Matthews and also Mike Sheehan. This was a Sydney doctor at Football Park with a penetrometer.
a piece of equipment normally reserved for race courses. Find out what they're doing with it at Football Park, though, with Bruce, Lee and Michael on Talking Footy, coming away immediately after this game tonight. Let's go down to the boundary line. Dipper.
Thanks, Andy. Well, Mickey Morehouse was just fantastic in the huddle there, because he's still there at the moment, but he really made an effort to talk to his younger players, such as Chad Morrison, David Wirapunda, also Josh Wooden. Just told his players to keep your head up high, you know, try and finish the game off. It's one of those nights, but just keep going all the time. And the Tigers, well, they just keep moving on, don't they?
Yeah, it's great at the moment. And just saw Wolsey came out and he was pretty angry when they set up the mat just close here. And he made him move it out even further, so he's still fired up.
There's a green mat down here at the moment where the Richmond trainers put out, and there's an M for midfield players and B for backline players. Obviously, that's where the players group up.
Yeah, they've been doing that this year, where we group up in our groups, and you know, tonight it's really working for us in our individual areas.
And Chris Spiner's just playing a terrific game tonight. He loves adding fuel to the fire, doesn't he?
Yeah, nicknamed Ferocious, and he's playing like it tonight.
You need a big B for the big D, wasn't it, for defenders? Oh, so the backs couldn't find it.
All right, just about set to go in this final quarter. It's like learning the alphabet all over again. 100 plays 41. Richmond in control. The Eagles hoping to finish with a flurry. Ben Cousins twisting and turning and eventually getting caught and losing the ball. Miranda down towards half forward. Campbell, there's a player down behind. We'll keep an eye on him as Richmond goes surging in towards the left forward pocket region, and the mark is taken by Charles.
Joel Bowden.
He plays on. Well, that is Joel Bowden.
He's coming off. He's hurt his right shoulder, maybe an AC joint.
Almost dangerous to play well this season, isn't it? I mean, a number of players, quality players, getting hurt.
Wooden, in the meantime, takes the kick on the other side of the ground, so Daffy will then be coming back out onto the ground. Grigich doing some wrestling. Some messy work on that outer side, and eventually the boundary umpire will tidy it up.
There's a replay of what happened there, and it was the right shoulder, probably an AC joint. When you get a direct blow on the point of the shoulder, sometimes the collarbone just pops a little bit.
Hopefully he's okay.
Well, depending on the severity to the ligament that holds it in place. As the skipper comes off, Matera back on, can be anything from no weeks to perhaps a month.
Cousins down towards half forward. Gehrig is there. Gaspar reaches over the top. Worsfold not that happy, I don't think, coming off. Bauer. High kick towards the wing. Grigich going back with the flight of the ball. Great courage by the big man. To Jakovic. Feeds it wider. Cousins takes on the tackler. Gets it away to Hart. Pressed hard against the boundary line. David Hart down towards half forward. Gale in best position. Assisted by Prescott. The ball initially stays in, then trickles across. In fact, it's going to be a Tiger free, I think, out there. Going to Prescott. Held without it. And very good. Gale, bit of a limp up. May have been kicking the shin. Meantime, Prescott towards the wing, uncontested. Nichols immediately away. Miranda bouncing through the centre square. Kicks through centre half forward. Big pack. Turnbull reaching over the top. Fisted away. Charles again. Very dexterous for a big man. Pulls it around, and Burke, running with the flight of it, has taken the mark only 5 metres out. Charles spotted him. Could have gone for goal, but did the right thing.
Well, it was great movement by the big bloke. And he does add that dimension of enthusiasm to this side, I'm sure. And Robert Walls would have been happy to have him coming back into the team.
Burke had his second. From memory, got the first of the game. 10 metres out. Straight through the middle.
David Burke continues his good form. He really has taken a couple of steps as a player in this season. And he's doing particularly well because he did have that setback of a couple of weeks off with the pop shoulder. Difficult to come back with a shoulder injury so quickly, and he's back in good form against good opposition.
65 points the margin now. 2 goals to David Burke. As we go back in the middle, it's Schofield who starts the West Coast Eagles going, and Cousins who keeps them running. Down towards left half forward. Turner. Coming straight across the ground and pushing it over the line as Richmond make another change. Brendan Gale off in game number 150, and Ben Holland. Coming onto the ground. From the throw-in, it's Kellaway. Wobbles a kick up towards centre wing. There's been a whistle. He's going to have to come back. We'll try Hayden Kennedy. Yeah, bringing it back.
There was a grab of the jumper by Nick Daffy on Josh Wooden, so it's well picked up by the umpire.
This makes for a couple of very big games next week now in round 9. Richmond plays St Kilda, and the West Coast tackle the Waivers.
BYO jacket
in Essendon, so what a round to look forward to.
You've got to beg the question, is this good form as in coming into the game with a loss, or is it bad form? I mean, you couldn't get a more devastating loss than this. But it seems that most clubs have had one of these performances this season.
Crowd of 26,721 here tonight. Dipper?
Pretty busy down here at the moment, Sandy. Johnny Worsfold came off the ground as well, and it looks like he's got a very bad corky on his right quadricep there. And also Brendan Gale, they're just checking out his ankle. And Joel Bellin just going through some exercise on that AC joint.
And Philip Matera is shooting for goal, with getting one behind. 106 plays at 42. So still plenty going on down on the 2 benches.
I wonder whether Paul Broderick's just having a rest with 27 possessions. He certainly had a big day. He struggled for form just early in the piece. I know we mark him very hard too, but he was just not quite at his absolute creative best for the Tigers. But tonight it was a pure delight to watch him play.
Hart to Wooden towards half forward. Gehrig, strong tackle, missed the mark initially. Drags Gaspar down, boundary throw. And interesting after that last behind. An ankle belonging to Brendan Gale. Unlikely then we'll see him back. That kick in after the behind, as I was saying. Very effective again. Campbell got it to Kellaway. This is Bauer down towards the half-forward line. They brought it out very well tonight, the Tigers. Daffy hooks it down towards full forward. Missed by McIntosh. Matera fell over. Miranda to his own advantage. Matera came back strongly. Not a crowd favourite. Goes to Jakovic. Jakovic from half-back. Not a good kick up towards the wing. 3-on-1 here. Grigic missed the mark as a result. Gale to Campbell.
Been a good battle, him and Chad Morrison. Probably honours about even.
Play on's the call, so off his step. Campbell goes for distance and gets plenty. Burke fingertips to it. Turnbull down behind, roving the pack. Claimed by Charles. Heads for the boundary line. Crowd want deliberate. So does Charles. David Hart's foot.
Yes, he threw his boot to the training personnel on the bench about 3 minutes ago. Well, we've seen players go with one glove. His boot's got an injury. It's being worked on by the trainers.
Hart's boot. There goes the kick from Daffy meantime. Down towards full forward. McIntosh goes back. Knocks it across the boundary line. Feet and boots everywhere.
15 minutes remaining in this match. Bond unable to take it. Cousins away. Into big Ilya Grigic, who lopes towards the centre. Then lets go with a kick up towards centre half forward. The bouncing ball eludes just about them all. Not Prescott. Gives it off to Turner. From half back, comes wide to the wing. 2-on-1 here. And Holland takes the mark. Call to play on, so he does immediately. Kick by Chaffee down towards left half forward. Bond on the boundary line. Centering kick in towards full forward. A mark is needed. The flyer was Burke, and what a fly it was. No mark. McIntosh feeling the heat. Burke popped one high. Sucked off the ground by the duck, and Daffy has gone. Three goals to Nick Daffy. 17 now for the season. 17 for Richmond tonight.
And everything's just turned into black and gold here tonight. The Tigers can't do a thing wrong, and big fly by Burke. McIntosh looking for the safety of the goal line. Interesting entanglement of players in the square.
Nasty one for Burke. Straight up though. Knocked down by Holland. Daffy went down. Dragged out of it Schofield. Cousins hurriedly onto the boot down towards half forward. Gaspar liked his game. Gehrig out of mid-air, gained about 10 metres. Timely fist in there, brilliantly done by Kellaway. Gehrig though wins the loose ball. Philip Matera under pressure. The pressure has been terrific. Gehrig had it, then lost it. Gaspar. Oh, Czechoslovakian eye feint there from Turner. Got him out of trouble. Gives it across to Funky up towards the wing. Was that a free kick? Nothing doing. Bond goes over the top. The umpires, despite the scoreboard, letting them play. Bond was dragged down. Jakovic emerging with it. Broderick. Still Broderick. Jakovic fights on though and carries the day. One of the few victories for the West Coast Eagles tonight. Donnelly a little slow at that one. Gave the defender a chance. And that's all they need, the Tigers tonight. Half a chance. Prescott right there. Step for step. Able to knock it away.
Justin Charles has also come off the ground. There he is. He appeared to be just limping slightly.
9 goal kickers for Richmond, just 3 for the West Coast Eagles. Chris Lewis, their only multiple scorer with 3. Worsfold, Lovell and McKenna all on the bench for the Eagles. There's Turner just feeling the pain a little as he cleared out of defence. Wirapunda overruns it. Bond to Campbell. Tumbles a punt towards centre wing. Eddie will see it over the line. And we've got a throw in. On centre wing. Malthouse, chairman of selectors, Ian Miller. We'll have plenty to ponder on the trip home, no doubt. Chaffee. Holland. Left footer is wobbly towards left half forward. Matera uses the body. Heady gives him assistance. Goes in towards the middle. Miranda gets around David Wirapunda. Floats the hand pass to Campbell. He'll have to be quick. He's okay. Nichols. Wide to Michael Gale. But Sitch will have a shot. Michael Gale from 25 out. Pops for another one for the Tigers. Goal number 18. 18-10 plays 5-12.
And it's interesting to have a look at the statistics. It sometimes just goes to show what a nonsense they can be when you look at them as a sum total. There's 266 kicks and marks to the Tigers, not that many less to the others.
Well, the Tigers simply fantastic tonight. They're back with a vengeance. Campbell, a hand pass not good. Wooden under the pump, debriefed. Away comes Cousins, gets it across to Schofield. Schofield probing kick inside the 50. Kellaway backed himself against the ball, took the mark, played on immediately. Back to the wing. Gale, heart pumping, full of confidence after that last goal. Loose man up the ground. Campbell wants to go. Needs to be a precise kick here for Daffy. Didn't quite get there. As a result, Wooden able to close him down. And the ball goes across the boundary line. That ball needed another 5 metres. 118 plays 42. Bullis. Jakovic Bullis, brilliantly done. Nichols with the right foot, not his best. As a result, off target, out of bounds. St Nichols 4 games for the West Coast Eagles. Played at North Melbourne, of course, and back where he started with the Tigers. Same pair. Bullis over the ball. Matera looking for a kick again. Fumble from Broderick. Across the line it goes. He looks at the boundary umpire because he may have fumbled that ball in effect onto his leg and across on the full. There's no kick. It's a boundary throw in. Albert Walls poker faced, but he'd be delighted with this.
Daffy, Matera, bolted off the ground. Ball Richmond in the middle. Holland towards half forward. Heady, got to beat a couple. Does well, combines with Cousins, now Schofield. Up towards right half forward, and Matera, Philip Matera, takes the mark. Too far out to score. Just his 12th game. Goes short to Jared Schofield. Ball lead ignored initially. He kicks in towards Chris Lewis. And it's eventually taken over the line for throwing in the right forward pocket. West Coast best quarter was the 3rd, which they booted 4. But it's dried up again since then. As Richmond clear towards centre wing, a crowd tonight just over 26,000. Taffy's kick towards left half forward. Burke taken over the line, picked up by Turnbull, but it's over.
What? Big call from the boundary umpire.
And a long way away too. I'd be interested to see that again. Let's have a look.
No way.
Well, as we said, everything running right for the Tigers tonight.
It's getting late. Sun in his eyes.
Including the boundary umpires jumping on the bandwagon.
Broderick off the ground. Matera from half-back. Spears it in towards centre wing. Looking for the chest of Phillip. Not to be. And that did go over the line.
Throw in on the wing then. Ball taking a run at this one. Holland wants the body, finds it. Bond from behind. Holland after the ball. Moves it about 10 metres. Slicked by Campbell to Bond. Up against the boundary. Clever hand pass. Broderick goes back to Bond. It was pretty slick. Too slick to handle. Bauer, though, got the crumbs towards full forward. Matera almost the mark. Daffy, a live wire on the forward line. Arches the back, gets away. That's the spot for it. About 10 metres out. Grigic did pretty well. Discipline. Gave up the behind. The Tigers doing all the right things tonight. 18-11, 5-12. Hart short. Wooden's got it. Back to Hart. Up to half back. Chasing ball. Hart improving his stats. Has a bounce. Kicks through the wing down towards half forward.
Boots recovered.
Yes, been laced up like his team. Donnelly off the ground, close to the boundary line. Ushered across by Jamie Tate. 119-42. Just over 8.5 minutes till full time.
Well, I think for everybody that selected the Tigers in their final 8, they'd go away tonight thinking that perhaps they're still in there with a chance now. With 4-4, the Tigers, they really can start their season again. Big match, as you said, Sandy, against the Saints next week. Lots at stake, and perhaps there'll be a huge crowd at Waverley for that match, because in some respects it could be a very early final.
Matthew Richardson could be scratching his head. I mean, they made the finals 2 years ago without him.
Gasper, Campbell and Tape combining across the back line. Yes, that is going to be one big game. And And of course, West Coast will be hoping to regroup against the Bombers. In Perth, Cousins, 55 metres out. Kick was okay. Mark not taken initially by Philip Matera, but he should tidy up and goal for the West Coast. So Philip Matera gets his first, and it's the first for the Eagles in this final term. Now 6-12, trailing Richmond 18-11.
Yes, and a couple of smiling Eagles fans there. Great work here by Ben Cousins, who struggled in the last month. He really has had the acid put on him, and he's going to have to come to terms with the close checking that each AFL side is going to apply to him. He's now one of the stars of this team. He's going to have to respond accordingly.
119 plays 48. Philip Matera getting his first goal for the match. Bond getting it out of the middle with the assistance from Chaffee. Inside 50, but this is McIntosh. Swings it wide. Cousins gets clear on the outer half-back flank. Kicks up towards centre wing. Morrison now has got a sprint. Gasper right there with him. So too Kellaway. And it's the latter who picks it up. Goes towards the wing, picked up by Gehrig. Fraser Gehrig. On report, we believe. Philip Matera coming off a goal. Takes them all on. A cry of ball goes up from the Richmond fans. He gets a kick down in towards the pocket, and Donnelly is there in that left forward pocket. Been a quiet night for Donnelly, just 5 kicks. Game number 23 for Andrew.
And the true tradition of good backman, certainly earned it.
Going for his second. Kicked one in the third term. Pretty good effort from that position, and he's got the goal. 2 goals to Andrew Donnelly, and the West Coast get their 7th. 7-12, plays 18-11.
Well, at some stage, the losses of Chris Mainwaring and Mitchell White were going to bite hard, Dennis, and when you do lose a couple of other senior players...
Yes, quite right.
It puts a lot of strain on the others that are left, and right now I think we are seeing why they are important losses.
No doubt about that, Jared.
Can they win the flag?
Well, I doubt they can, but you never know. I mean, it's an open competition. That's the beauty of it. But they need finals in Perth. They haven't travelled well, as we said a couple of times earlier, in the last 18 months or so. The odd win. Last week, of course, in Brisbane, very good. Down goes Hetty, but in Melbourne, their form has been disappointing. Here's Hetty right on the 50. In short. Gehrig's got it. The heartening sign, though, for the Eagles in the second half is they've gone goal for goal with the Tigers, 6 apiece. So, in that respect, they've stuck at it. Now, that was unintentional, I'd say.
Accidental trip, so no 50.
Yeah. Gehrig. Natural left footer, bending it back. That is a magnificent effort. Goal.
Well, we're going to have to wait until tomorrow night, perhaps Wednesday night, to see if Fraser Gehrig will be playing against the Bombers next weekend, because his number was taken earlier in the match. One suspects it was for a charge or misconduct. Oh, they'll get him somehow. If Colo's got any say in it. But at this stage, you'd reckon just out of the corner of your eye, it'd be a real chance to be written off.
Fraser Gehrig gets his first and the West Coast's 8th goal, but it's Richmond out of the centre towards Michael Gale. Bond, some fierce tackling. Cousins decides to leave it for Schofield, his teammate. So he bounced his way down to half forward. He might have a shot here. He's 55 metres out after a couple of bounces. A long kick in towards full forward and shepherded over the top for a goal. Jared Schofield gets his first and a fine running goal. 9-12, plays 18-11.
Well, it's been all the West Coast in the last few minutes, and I guess it's fair to say that the Tigers have earned themselves a rest. Robert Walls, I'm sure, will be hoping that they can just finish the game off with a couple of big goals and keep the West Coast Eagles to under 10. They would have copped a couple of beltings in their time over at Subiaco.
Well, the Tigers need to think about that percentage. We touched on that earlier as well. But the things that win you the game early come back to hurt you a little bit late, because they worked like kamikaze pilots in the first half, Richmond. But they'd be pretty tired now. They really did throw themselves about, did the extra things. And now a few of them going up and down on the spot. Wiapunda, did he throw it? Yes, he did.
I think they've also got a few of their key playmakers off the ground, with Broderick, Bond coming off with an injury, and Justin Charles about to come on. Dipper, you've got a report on Chris Bond.
Yeah, I've been looking at him the last 2 or 3 minutes. He's been struggling with a calf injury here, Jerry. He's off the ground now, so the big Justin Charles gets his chance again.
Prescott out of defence, up towards centre field. Bullis missed the mark. Cousins, McIntosh, high floater back towards half forward. Prescott punching away from Donnelly, hand on the shoulder. It will be a free kick, I think, to the Eagles. Advantage is paid. Lewis runs on down towards full forward. Turner's in the road, but the ball now will come back. Well, how retrospective is that?
Well, the umpire did look up and saw that most of the players had stopped, anticipating that the ball would go back. And that's the problem with the advantage rule, that we are all trained as footballers, netballers, to stop on the whistle.
Donnelly's got it then, just outside the 50. Long kick. Grigich almost. Tape moving the pack. Kellaway been very good. So is this man, Broderick. Up towards the wing. Bullis has got it now.
6 kicks, 4 marks to Paul Bullis. Got the heavy one early on. Sideline for a while, but back in business now. Matera, vice-like tackle. Causes the ball to spill free. He's quick to apply a similar tackle on Trent Nichols. Been a pretty long day for some. Ball has one arm held, so absolutely no hope, no whistle.
Hayden must have been blinded, I think.
Chaffee, blinded by the light. Back towards centre wing. Heady and Michael Gale. Slight nudge is okay. Off to Schofield. He runs through the middle. Looks down towards the half-forward line. The lead was on. The pass was good, and so too was the mark by Ilya Grigich.
Thought you were going to break out in a song there for a minute. Blinded by the light. Ilya with a chance to get a goal. Makes him a far more valuable big man if he can go forward and take a mark and convert. And a pretty good kick from a stationary position.
Grigich for his first for the night, kicking from 48 metres. A low drop punt is away to the left and one behind. 9-13, those 18-11. Just under 3 minutes remaining. So Richmond now back in the hunt, 4-4 after 8 games.
Eagles now back using his own defence. Been that way for some time. But
the Tigers would have given Stan Alves plenty to think about tonight. Prescott's kick is smothered well by Cousins. Schofield gives it to Heady, who just goes it short to Morrison. Chad Morrison, 75 metres out. Wants Grigich again. Big man got a hand to it, was unable to complete the mark. Kellaway's there. Out it comes towards Campbell. Just a clever little kick going 10 or 15 metres. He does exactly that. And we've got another throw in.
Still a little ill-tempered. Not much point. Just over 2 minutes to go. Ball trying to control it, dragged off it. Campbell towards the wing. Terrific grab by Matera, reaching over the top. Almost 50. Got to be 50.
The Wayne Campbell just has continued to work tonight against Chad Morrison.
Oh, it was touched. Okay.
33 possessions to Wayne Campbell. It's a big effort, really, particularly when you've got a tag and it's been pretty consistent.
So we've got a bounce. The attacking side of the wing. Nichols goes in. Most undemonstrative umpire. I was looking at him, I didn't see him say touched or indicate touch. Watch it again. There's Campbell. Well, they've put an arm on the way through. Where's the umping? Matera oblivious to the touch ball. He wanted a mark. Anyway, all academic. Here's Daffy. Similar situation inside the 50. Well done by Bullis. And in turn Hart to Jakovic. 119 to 67. The West Coast Eagles have outscored the Tigers in the second half, but the damage done early. The Tigers simply terrific. Here's Kellaway from centre half back. Lovely kick, missed by Holland. As a result, ball over the ball, paddles it towards the boundary line, and out she goes.
Matthew Rogers has been watching this game from the sidelines. He'd be more than happy with this, Matt, as we're just about ready to say farewell to you. When do we expect to see you back?
Hopefully I'll only miss one more game and should be back for the Melbourne game. But yeah, tonight's been a great performance by the boys.
It certainly has. Thank you too for your contribution and all the best for the remainder of the season.
No worries, thanks a lot.
Matthew Rogers in the outer tonight, and hopefully just missing one more, that being against St Kilda, and then back in the thick of things once again. Wayne Campbell, 34 possessions. Another fantastic effort. Brett Heady ridden into the ground. Schofield soccers it probably 7 or 8 metres, only as far as Kellaway. Morgan, nice turn. And on the siren, Josh Wooden goes goalwards. It matters not. No score. And Richmond run out huge winners here at the MCG in front of 26,721 adoring fans. Brett Heady, well, just telling the tale as far as the West Coast are concerned. Let's go down to Dipper.
Yeah, unfortunately, Brett Heady's down here in a bit of pain. Looks like he's done his knee here. The doctor's a little bit concerned about it. So we'll just keep you up to date with it. They're just trying to ice it up here.
Well, that will be an absolute tragedy for the West Coast Eagles if there's a serious problem there as far as Brett Heady is concerned. Let's hope it is not as serious as that. It may just be cramp. Dipper.
Well, it's a fantastic win by the Boys tonight.
Yeah, terrific, Dipper. Had a real crack at it, as you saw. You know, we were very hard at the footy, got off to a good start. And for us to kick 18 goals is just great because we've only been kicking 9 or 10 the last few weeks. But no, they were terrific. You know, we needed to win to be 4-4 and we're still in the hunt, so that's great.
It was a very long week. I mean, Monday night football.
Oh, yeah.
And tonight you were very intense yourself.
Oh, well, I guess we've had a long time to think about the game. Yeah.
Thanks, Robert.
Yes, an excellent performance, and Gerard, as Robert Wall said, back in the hunt at 4-4. And Brett Heady appears as though that may have just been cramp.
Yes, he has had a pretty big day, Brett Heady. He's one of the best players for the West Coast Eagles, and they weren't too easy to find. Joel Bowden, I thought, was best on the ground for the Tigers. Ably supported by Paul Broderick. One supplied the drive along with Wayne Campbell, but it was the brilliance of Joel Bowden across that half-forward line with his 4 goals that really did split this game right open in the second term. The signs were good for the Tigers right from the first quarter, the opening bounce, and they weren't all that impressive for the Eagles. They did look a little bit lacklustre, but in end, a great victory for the Tigers.
Yes, it certainly was. The scoreline telling the tale of the night. 18-11, 119. Richmond, West Coast 9-13, 67. Coming up shortly, Talking Footy.